Hi guys, this is Alex and Spencer. We are from 101X,
That's
and
right.
we have Brent Smith and Zach Myers from SHINEDOwn with us right now.
What's
Hello.
happening? What's going on?
Wow, just
Did you set all this up?
Oh yeah, I did all of the work.
Personally.
Yep.
Great.
Yes.
You did a great job.
She let
He
me
lifted
sort
the
of help.
table. It
You
was
lifted
so
the
nice
table?
of him. So nice of him.
Yeah.
We're
So-
stoked to be in Austin. Thanks for having us.
We're
Yeah.
stoked to have you, man. You just performed, Brent. Thank you so much.
You're
for
very
doing
welcome.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, it was fun.
It was like
not to cuss.
PG-13.
Yeah, we did okay.
PG-13.
Little
Some mention-
mid-afternoon.
A little mention of crack. It's okay. We love crack here.
That's
You
the
know what I mean?
13 part of it. Yeah.
Well, they teach DARE in elementary school. They've heard of
sure,
it.
yeah.
They know all the street names. We're good.
Some days I'm just like, you know what, man? I remember back in the day, and then he usually will tell me, he'll be like, let's not talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at this point, I feel like you guys need a comedy routine as like a side thing because that was
You would think the
hilarious.
comedy routine would be easy. It's not that easy.
The toughest thing you could ever do.
Well,
you
it
make
worked. It worked really well.
Don't say make it look easy, so keep it up.
The thing about me and Zach with this is that we try to, like, we're in this band that's very, like, choreographed, and we put all this, you know, time and effort into these big spectacle shows
Yeah.
and what have you. So a lot of times when it's me and him, we just kind of like to be as naturally as we can, and it just, for whatever reason, comes out funny.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but we're pretty good.
I don't think we're trying to be funny most of the time.
We're also
well-
trying to loosen everybody up.
There was a moment there where you almost made me cry, and then I'm glad you came back and made it funny after that. But I was like, damn.
We want to take you through the full range of emotion.
It worked.
That's what
Thanks.
that's what SHINEDOWN is. We want to bring you from happiness to sadness back up.
So is that what the new album's
We're
gonna
like
be
an emotional roller coaster.
It's yes, that's what I
I feel
just
like every one of our albums is like that a little bit.
I think so. Yeah. So you were
Inspiration, sadness, happiness. You know.
Yeah, you were talking about the 8th studio album you're working
Yeah.
on right now,
Yep.
and we've got the 2 previews of it so
Yep.
far. You've got the tour announced.
Yep.
Is there a?
By the way, I think it's, I'm trying to remember, I think it's August 28th. I'm pretty sure in Houston, Texas. That's
Yep.
the closest one to
Okay,
Austin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But Houston,
Yes.
Texas, I believe it's August 28th with Morgan Wade and Bush.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm sure we'll be doing some giveaways on that with the station. I would like to think so.
hope so.
Probably. I feel
Yeah,
like we're
that's
gonna do that.
and then we're going to figure out when we can come back and do Austin proper. But August 28th in Houston, Texas, that's the closest one.
That's great. We did have somebody asking about a show in Austin, so we'll have to find her in the crowd and tell her.
We'll probably
You know,
come back to Austin next year.
South by Southwest, so different than what you guys have going on
We did it for
normally.
the first time last year.
Oh, hell yeah. Welcome back then,
Well,
officially.
I see you're headlining Louder Than Life this year, correct?
Not
No.
Louder Than Life.
Louder
Welcome
Than
to
Life.
Rockville.
Welcome to
one of
Rockville.
It's the Danny Wimmer Festival. Well, that's close to home for you
Danny's
guys.
a good friend. He's
Yeah.
got the best rock and roll heavy metal festivals, Bourbon and Beyond. Like he's the best.
Such good stuff. I
Yeah.
love going to those festivals, but what a totally different experience to see you playing at In Cahoots in Austin doing the acoustic set than like at one of those huge festivals. How is it for you guys? How does it compare?
It's fun. I mean, like doing stuff like this in the middle of the day is always different. So that's we kind of lean in anything we're doing.
Yeah.
So if we can show up anywhere and play, we'll do it.
Well, we love you
I mean,
for
the biggest
it.
thing about that too is these types of events. Like, look, I mean, we put a lot into terrestrial radio because radio built the band. We understand the way that people consume music now and streaming and everything of that nature. But from where we're from, terrestrial radio, the way we've always looked at it is streaming will get your music played, but radio will give you a career. So
That's-
we
Yeah.
thank you guys and girls
Dude.
for allowing us to be ourselves.
Thank you for
Well-
showing us the love as well. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we thank you so much because what's really cool is we don't normally hear from a lot of bands, like unless it's a press thing, but you were calling our radio stations
Yeah.
and just thanking us for adding the songs, which is like, that's crazy. You just pick up the phone and you're like, oh, well, you're welcome.
Calling you guys unsolicited.
Hi.
Hey, how's it
Hey.
going?
Glad I answered the phone because I never do that. I thought it was a record rep. Ugh.
No, and I mean, the thing about that is like, I mean, a lot of times too, we're asked the question, with certain, the younger generation that want to get into this industry, that want to get into being songwriters and performers, and you want to know about the business and everything. In North America, it's unique than any other country because there's so many radio stations. In every city, it's kind of that culture, like what that city represents, and radio curates that for their listeners. So I always tell them, or we always explain to them, like, lean into the radio, go there, do things with them, come up with events, like, give it back to them. If they're playing your song, they're playing it for that community and that market and that city. It's going to build your audience.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, we're excited to hopefully have you in Austin.
I'm almost blushing a little bit, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
No, we're stoked to come back.
Dude,
We'll
hell
be
yeah.
back. Like Zach was saying,
I
we'll
think-
come back. We'll do
Next year,
Austin
we'll probably do
proper.
proper next year.
It is very cool to see you at something like South by Southwest. Have you been able to go around and kind of experience as a
We
spectator?
haven't. No. I when I was younger, I got to come here in like the late '90s. I got to come to South by Southwest, which was really cool. But no, we kind of flew in, do this, and we leave tomorrow. So I wish I could. It seems like such a cool vibe, and everyone just seems like in a good mood to be here. So
Yeah, despite the fact that it is 90-something degrees out.
90-something in March, yeah.
Yeah, and it snowed.
I'd rather be 90 than 20.
Amen. Well,
I'd rather be 90 than 20.
Yep, I agree with that one there. So you mentioned sobriety on stage, and as a person who is also recently sober,
Gotcha.
I just would like to ask any advice. Is there anything that really helped you get through that when times were getting tough? I'm sure we have some listeners dealing with similar issues.
I think that you have to remember that your journey is going to be different than anyone's. I mean, at the end of the day, the way I've always looked at it is that part of my life, even though I don't necessarily talk about it a lot, and I'm not making fun of it and making it lesser than what people have to deal with when I'm on stage. That's kind of a coping mechanism for me,
Sure.
just to kind of break the ice, because I know there's people out there that might be like going through it, or they might be in the middle of it.
Still a tender subject.
But like, you have to kind of find your destination with it in regards to, you got to do what's right for you. That part of my life, though, you really just have to do one day at a time. Like, I can compartmentalize things. I keep myself really busy and focus on things where I can juggle schedules and things of that nature. But like, my sobriety, honestly, is something that I just, with that, it's a day-by-day thing. Because sometimes you'll get inside your head and be like, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I don't know if I can keep this up. Just do it one day at a time, and I promise you, just keep yourself grounded. And music, to be totally honest with you, has completely saved my life. My son and my band, like, that's ultimately, for me, I had to find my purpose.
Right.
And I had to find my reason, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's them. So, like, that's what wakes me up in the morning, and I'm just like, I don't need that other stuff, you know?
And the cool part is rediscovering all of the hobbies and all of the things that you loved before, and I think, like, leaning harder back into that.
Things that kind of get replaced in the process of, using or abusing. Yeah.
The other thing, too, is, like, I'm surrounded by people that, I've never been that type of person. Like, I got no problems going to a bar. I got no problems hanging out with people and this and that. I never wanted it to be awkward or anything like that. But, you got to do what's right for you. But my whole outlook has always just been, are you better with it or without it? And 9 times out of 10, if it's something where you're waking up every day thinking about it, you're better without it.
Amen.
I'm going to remember that.
I don't think it could be better stated.
God bless.
That's great. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much. We're so excited to hear the album when it's ready.
Hey, I don't think we said it, but congratulations
on
my
gosh, I forgot.
The 20th hit single in the mainstream rock charts.
Mainstream rock,
record breakers right here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Insane.
Feels like Monopoly money. Like, it's cool. It's cool to have in your pocket, but it's like, it doesn't feel real.
I mean, I'm sure that's not even after just what we discussed, not the reason for the band.
Right.
Oh, but it's great.
With you, man, it's badass.
Yeah. Pretty great. I enjoy it.
Yeah, but I mean, and Zach will say this too, like, that's the audience.
Yeah.
It's radio and the audience. I mean, so we don't take it for granted, man. We're that's why when we walk into a studio, we're trying to, there's always another gear, man, that we're trying to get to.
What's been your favorite part so far of recording for this next album? Has there been a standout moment?
There's been a couple times where the last couple records, we weren't necessarily all together. And this time we've had a couple of those moments where everyone's there. It feels really good. So it feels really good.
Energy's up.
Yeah,
Energy's up,
There's a unique thing about, and I can say this because it's the truth, but it's something that we take really seriously and are grateful for it. There's not a lot of bands that have a band member that is a engineer, mixer, producer, really a recording savant. And so Eric Bass, who plays bass for us, which probably is a bass player the last 2 records and this record, he's produced, engineered, and mixed the entire records alongside with Doug McKean on Attention, and Planet Zero. But this one, having somebody like him in the band, it gives us a little bit more time where we can kind of go back to the label and the powers that be and say, it'll be ready when it's ready.
Cool.
But we promise you, if you'll just hang on,
just believe.
We're trying to give you the next level.
That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we got to wrap things up, guys. Thank you so much
for having
for talking
us.
with us today. We appreciate it.